Okay, so let's do it in English.
Sounds good. I'm gonna try. Okay, so let's get started. Hey everyone, thank you for joining today. So let me start with who we are. I'll give you a brief info about us, then we'll get started with what we are supposed to do today. So let me share my screen. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
So I'll just do the intro in English and then we'll jump back to Hindi and English. Right. Okay, so who we are, right? So we are data to production, started by me and Ashit a few months back, probably December or January. So we've been doing this master classes for free for everyone. So we did a few on machine learning. I think we did a few on Python. And this time we decided we're going to do a series of masterclass for the portfolio sessions where, you learn how to build a portfolio from scratch. But other than that, you'll also learn how to actually, do data science projects. So we'll do 2 to 3 data science projects live together. So we all will do together in the upcoming sessions. So we can't do it today, everything. So yeah, we'll be doing 2 to 3 more sessions, probably next week and after and so on. So today we're just going to create our portfolio. That's it. And, including the README files on GitHub. And then we'll update those portfolios as we progress through the projects. Okay. So we started this data production, mainly to help beginners who want to get into data science. So here we do some podcast series. We do some data science training at the industry level, and like I said, we have master classes. So Ashit, you want to introduce yourself quickly?
Yeah, so hi everyone. My name is Ashit, and I've been a data scientist for a little more than 2 years now. And I've been in data science for, I think, 5 to 6 years now. I did my graduation, my BTech from IIT Bombay in civil engineering, and sort of transitioned to data science during college itself. And I'm currently working at IDFC First as a data scientist. So yeah, and feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. And a little bit about me. So I graduated in theoretical physics, and I'm into data science. So I have a few years of experience as well. And right now I work for the Decathlon, specifically the Decathlon Canada. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn as well. So just want to give you guys a brief, overview of our website and where you can find resources to help you with your data science stuff, right? So if you're gonna deep dive into data science, learn about GitHub and all that stuff, we'll share some resources with you, so you can feel free to look at it. So this is our website. You guys can go check it out. So we have a bunch of things on here. We have this mentorship program. You can go check it out. I'm not going to spend a lot of time today marketing ourselves. But what I want to show you is this documentation here. So we'll put the link in the chat. So this is a documentation page that we follow, with our students. So I'll build it from scratch, just so that I can help them out when they join us. So here you will find a bunch of things, right? So if you're brand new to GitHub, if you have never used GitHub before, feel free to check out stuff in here, right? How to work with GitHub, right? So how do you set up your first repository and all that? And we'll follow this today. We'll try and create our first repo, right? Learn about branching, right? So you need to know how branches work, especially when you work as part of a team, right? You're not a solo user. That's where the use of GitHub will come into play. Learn about pull requests, right? And how do you create a PR, right? There's something called pull request. So how do you create a PR, step-by-step process? Okay, so everything is here. Python, right? So there's not much detail about Python. Conda environments. So if you have never worked with environments before, you can find some stuff in here. And then there are some interesting articles that I try and publish every now and then. Then I move this here. Okay, so you can find some links here. So there are really interesting, good articles that I really read myself every now and then I'm trying to post it here. And for today's stuff, you'll find the resources here. So, like I said, we're going to talk about, how do you create a README, and how do you create a resume, right? So if you want to know a few websites where you can, find nice templates to create your resume and stuff, we can find it here as well. Okay. So that's about it from my end. Let's get started. So I'll hand it over to Ashit. Ashit will walk you through, GitHub stuff, README and all that.
And also, everyone just feel free to answer the poll. So whether you are comfortable with Git or not.
Yeah. And specifically, if you're so what we're looking for is, are you comfortable with GitHub as part of a team, not as a solo user? Okay. So knowing GitHub as a solo user is really easy, but have you ever used it as part of a team? Do you know how to create branches? Do you know how to do code review? Do you know how to do PR and all that stuff? Okay. So that's one, that's important. So if you're comfortable with that, then GitHub basically. Okay, I'm gonna start sharing my screen. There we go.
So first of all, let's talk about the GitHub README. So whenever you create a GitHub profile, so let's say this is your profile. So this is actually one of our students who has created a great profile now. So you can see the screen, right?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Yeah. So this is one of our students' GitHub profile. So whenever you visit someone's profile, so that is just github.com/the username. So you can see, so you have a choice to create sort of a landing page for yourself. So you can introduce yourself. You can tell something about yourself. What are you interested in? What are you working on? What are your interests in tech? Maybe how do you reach them? And what all do you do? And some statistics on your GitHub profile. So the streak is probably how. So if the streak is 38, that means you have contributed to your Git profile for 38 days straight at the max. So you can show all this on your landing page, and these are your pinned repositories. So whatever you want to show to the visitors first. So probably the projects that you are proud of. So you can show these here. This appears by default. So the green ones are the days when you were active on your Git. So this is basically your GitHub profile. So Amitul, can you enter the people who are waiting?
Yep, done.
Yeah. So this landing page is sort of very useful. If so, let's say a recruiter wants to check you out. So probably they'll check your GitHub and your LinkedIn. So these are two of the most important, let's say, phases of your career, right? So we'll just see how can you make this landing page, and after this we'll also see how can you make your own website with GitHub. So GitHub allows you to host a free website of yours. That can be a game changer for your job search as well. I'm still seeing two people in the waiting room, actually.
I don't know, it's taking forever. So we have one person who's still in the process of joining,
Alright.
and it's just there.
So let's just create this landing page. So what you have to do is, so I assume everyone has a GitHub account here. If not, you can just sign up using Google account as well. So when you have a GitHub account, so there'll be a default repository for you. That will be the same name as your username. So this
Sorry, Ashad, just want to interrupt you for a minute. So everyone, so this is a hands-on session. So if you guys want to, really try and take advantage of this, you guys can, do it together along with us. So, you guys can open your GitHub account and, work on it together. So if you get stuck anywhere, you can send me a message and we'll help you. So
yeah,
yeah,
feel free to use the chat as well if you have any questions. So this is my account which is named data.production. So there is a default repository in this account, which is with the same name as your username. So this address will be github.com/username/username. This will be your default repository. So what you can do is you can just upload a README file here, which is your landing page. So if you just open this README file, it is the same. It is a similar page like what we saw earlier. So how do you create this? So if I view the raw file here, so this is the actual markdown, uh, which gets converted to that beautiful landing page that we just saw. Right. So how do you create this? A simple way to do this is this website called readme.so. So what you can do here is you can just create different sections separately. It allows you to create it separately, and then you can just merge all of it and just copy and paste it on your repository. For example, I have these sections. So if you just want to create something from scratch, you just delete all of these. Then you just start dragging and dropping or just selecting some of these sections, and then just fill out these templates. So it makes a readme live for you. So this is how it is going to look. For example, in this acknowledgements, this is the heading. If you do 2 hashes, it will give it the second level of heading. If you do 1 hash, let's see what happens. It becomes bigger, right? So more the hashes, the smaller it gets. So smaller, 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 so on. I think there can be 6 hashes. Okay, there can be 5 at most. So this is how you create the heading. After this is a link. So basically, this is the text part and what this link leads to. So you can, so this is one separate section. After this, there's this section. Here also, there's this heading and so on. How can you create something like this if you want to write some code? So you can use these triple quotes, and you can write it like this. If you want to make a table, you can use this format. So use this pipe character to demarcate the columns, and use these dashes to demarcate the rows. So similarly, you just create all of the sections. This is how we created uh, this uh, this one. So all this was created by this website, and then we just copy and pasted it here. So, and this is how it looks. So if you just go to this repository, if you just go to this is so github.com/the username. So this thing, what you see here, this is the same readme that we just created. So this is an introduction. This is about us. They can be a picture. They can be the links. How can you reach us? And there's some more links, documentations, some pictures, some statistics. So what these statistics are? So these are profile views. What languages do you code the most in? Here you can show that, and total commits, total PRs, etc., streaks. So this is how you create a README. So anyone would like to create a README live, or anyone is already doing that right now?
Can you let us know in the chat if if you're building the README right now live, then we can do it together. We'll spend some time on this.
So even if you don't know what to write, you can just create a template and you can fill in the details later.
Yeah.
So anyone would like to volunteer and share your screen, we can guide you.
Okay, so we have someone who wants to do live. Okay, we have a bunch of people. Okay, how about we do it live on our repo and they can follow us along?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, let's do
So
it that way
may
then.
Davinendra Yeah. So
And the submit, the link is on our documentation page, so you can go find everything there. I'm putting it in the chat. So you can find the links here. So yeah, so let's try and do, a simple README. Let's do it together.
Yeah.
So Ashit has already started.
So if you scroll down, you will just see these 5 links. So GitHub profile and then some descriptions. So I just added GitHub profile introduction. So what I'll do is I am data loop production. So Medul, can you put this website in the chat, readme.so? They can
Yeah,
open it.
I'll put it in the chat already. I'll put the whole link in the
So,
chat.
you guys can open it on the side and just do it with us. So I'll just write, hi, I'm data production. That is my introduction. Then probably I'll do about me. So it just gives me a separate section to work on separately. So about me, what am I? Mithul, what am I?
You are, let's say, a data scientist.
I am a data scientist and I work on unsolved data problems to
Help
add value
businesses or something. Yeah, to the
businesses.
business.
Right. So this is my README being created live, right? So this is how it is looking.
Mhm.
It is looking pretty good. Next, probably it is my skills. What are my skills? Probably the skills will be Python, SQL, machine learning, deep learning, NLP, so on. Right? You can add your skills. So, uh, after this, probably my links. How can anyone reach me? So my portfolio. So I don't. So let's say I'll just add my GitHub link here. My GitHub
I can
link is
send you that.
this one.
You got it.
Right. My LinkedIn. It's my LinkedIn. This is my LinkedIn. Okay, things like these. So if you can also add a picture here, we'll see how to add a picture later. So yeah, you can add these links like this. Right. So this one is my link and this is the picture. Yeah. So this link you are seeing right here.
The battery is low. Please recharge immediately.
Sorry.
Goodbye.
Yeah. So this right here, this is the link of the image which will be showed right here. So this my portfolio, this is an image which is stored on this address. And what does this image lead to? To this link, right? So I'll not change these images because otherwise I'll have to put different images. So for LinkedIn, I'll do the same thing. Like this. Twitter, do I have a Twitter? Not sure. So I just let it be. It will, let's say it will lead to Twitter.com. Right. So this is my links. Next, what is next? Let's say
Title and description, maybe. So let's say if you're creating a Python package or
yeah,
something, and you wanna show the use case and all that. So,
right. So you can put it all of this here, and after you have created this, Anyone needs help with this?
So Sumit is saying, can you please share the image part again?
So yeah. So how you do this is like this. So uh, this part, this portfolio part, this is the name of your link, which does not appear here anywhere. This part is the link where the image is stored. So I'm using this image, which looks like it says my portfolio. This is not a link. Yeah, I'll just copy it. So I'll just put it in the chat. This is how you create a link to an image. This is the link of the image, and this is the link where this image leads to. Right? Any other doubts? Anyone?
So just want to mention, so let's say if any of those links break, right? So if you then the portfolio that's that's in the bracket that will show up. So if any of the links break, then by default the portfolio, the word portfolio will show up. Okay.
So if I just
so if you
mess with this link, so I'll just do this. Let's say this is also existing. Yeah.
there,
Not even this. Okay.
I think, yeah, there. You have to remove the whole entire link. Yeah.
So this link does not exist. So it will show what is written over here.
And Nikhil is asking, how do I upload a custom picture? So to upload a custom picture, we'll show you this, right? So right now what we are doing is we're just creating our skeleton for the README. And we are going to take this README and we are going to upload it on GitHub, right? And then you can upload your custom images and everything on GitHub itself. Okay, so we'll show that as well.
That also. Let's do that. So this is
let's do
my
that.
GitHub. I'll just go to my repository. This is my default repository, right? So I already have an image right here. So what you can do is, if you want to add another image, you can do add file, upload files, and upload an image here. I've already done that here, right? So this image is the G2P logo. So what you can do is you can copy this URL. Copy this URL, and this URL is externally accessible. So anyone on the internet can access this. So this readme.so can also access this. So I'll just put that URL over here. When you put it over here, it should ideally show that image over here. Not sure why is it not showing. Let's see. I'll just copy image address. Okay, that is a different address. So let's try that. So if I put that address, it should show something. Yeah, it is not showing it. So, Nikhil, is that clear? Yeah. Vivek is asking, it's an external link. That format grabs the image from that link. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's it. So whatever image you give the link to, it will put that here. But yeah, it should be universally accessible. That's the only thing. So what I'll just do is I'll just copy all this. So I'll just copy this raw file. It gives us an option to also.
Ashit, before you do that, can you also show how can we put the code as well in there? So you can add some usage example or something like that.
Yeah. So let's see if this allows us. This gives some sample. Yeah. This API reference. So this gives you some sample code, some sample markdown to put in the codes, right? So here's how you can do it. You can use the triple quotes. So these are not the normal quotes. These are the quotes above the tab key or beside the number keys. So use this, and let's say you write let's say Python 3 your main.py, some arguments, file or whatever, right? So this is how you can write blocks of codes or any code. So even like Docker. So here I'm writing some terminal commands. So Docker run uh, whatever your image is. So Docker image, right? Tag. So you can write some codes right like this. So let's just copy all this. So I'll just remove everything else in this. So this is our README, right? So I'll just copy this. Now, if there isn't a readme.md file already in your repo, you can just create one. Let's just do it from scratch. So I'll just delete this one.
Okay, you delete the entire repo so they can see
Yeah.
how they can create a repo and all.
So I'll just delete this repo.
You'll have to type it.
Yeah, so I've deleted this repo. I'll just now create a new one. Use the same name as my username. This was my username, Redall Production. So it is Redall Production / Redall Production. Make it public because I want everyone to see this. Add a README file. Right? It will add an empty README file for you. Create repo. So it is not empty. So it says hi there, right? So what I can do is I just edit it right here. Delete all this, copy this thing, what I wrote in readme.so, paste it, right? Commit changes. Commit directly to the main branch because the main branch is what is visible on your homepage. Refresh it and you'll see the updated things. Not sure why this is this.
That's our logo. That's our logo. We just did it. So
Right. Yeah. So I'll just
yeah.
open it again. So I'll just add a file. I've added my logo. Commit. So now there is this file here, right? I'll just copy the link again in case it has changed. Okay, it has not changed because it has started appearing now. So this is my home page now, right? This is the logo. You can change the size of this also. You can Google that, how to do that. And yeah, this is how you create a README. Any questions?
You guys following it? Do you guys have any questions? Is this helpful, by the way? You can let us know if this is helpful. Okay, I think one last thing we're gonna do to README before we move on is how do you add these stats? Right, so I should show us the stats before. So we're just gonna show you how do you add that, and then we'll wrap up the README, and then we'll move on to the portfolio part.
I'll just Google how to add stats because that's what you do. How to add stats in GitHub. Yeah, GitHub stats in README. So you just go to the first link. It It shows you how to create a repo. Okay.
Here's the one I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna put it in the chat so Ashit can have a link as well as you guys.
Yeah.
So that's the one that we used earlier. So Ashit can show you, how do you
Yeah.
generate your stat using that.
So what you can do is you can just put in your username, your production. You can choose a theme. I'll choose Dracula. Show private commits, hide private commits. You can choose that according to yourself. I'll show it. Border. Let's see how it looks with the border. This is it. It shows a white border. If I hide it, it doesn't show it. So I'll show the border. Show result. Now it gives me these three stats. So I'll just click on the top one and it will copy it for me. Now I can just go to my README file again and paste it there. I'll paste it at the bottom. So I just pasted it and I'll just commit it. Let's see if it works. So it works. It is giving me the stats now. You can also center it using HTML or Markdown. We can try that. How did you do it? We did it in
Using HTML. We actually did it in HTML.
yeah.
CSS.
Yeah, I think this was it. I'm just using a paragraph tag. Let's see if it works. So it did not work, but you can Google how to do that. It's pretty straightforward.
I think you'll have to remove the markdown and change it to the IMG SRC.
Yeah, okay, let's do that.
Then the P will work, and then the P tag will work. So yeah, you can say, read me something where you can use markdown languages, you can use HTML or CSS. So there are multiple things you can do, whatever you're comfortable with. If you need a refresher on markdown, or if you don't know how to use markdown, the link that I've shared with you, resources, we have put all the links there, so you can go check it out.
So it is now in the center of it, so horizontally centered. So this is how you add the stats. So you just click on the another one and it will copy it and do the same thing for it. So let's move on to the website now.
Yeah. So we'll just wait 1 minute if you guys have any questions before we move on. Any questions or feedback? Anything that helps? Or did you guys knew how to build readmes like this before, or any of these websites, or is it the first time you're seeing it? Can you show the code for stats?
Yeah.
Can you show the code for stats?
So this is the code for stats. So this is basically an image. This image, I've just put it inside an HTML tag. So this is just an image. So this is a dynamic image. The image gets changed on this URL every time I think you make a new commit, or maybe at regular intervals.
So all that we did here was, we took the link from that the website that we sent you, and from our markdown, we just the markdown actually. From markdown, we converted it to using the HTML.
So I'll
that's
just
all we did.
do it again. You just put in your username. So I'm just using this link which is in the chat. I'll do show result. So this will give me these three images. So if I just click on this image, it will copy some code for me. I'll just show you this is the code. So what it does is it just gives me this link, which is an image, and this is, let's say, the alt, so alternate text for the image in case the image isn't available on the link. So this is what will appear there. So basically it just copies me an image. So if I just go to this link, I should see an image. So I'm just seeing an image here. So this is what gets shown on your README page. Subramanya sent something. What is it?
I'm guessing that's an image.
Hey, I'm just creating it parallel. Just sent you that.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Nice.
So let's move on then.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay, so Subramanian has created his README. Minashid, if you want to share, you can share it.
Yeah,
I can download that and
in the
share
link
it.
on GitHub.
It's the, yeah, you can put the link of your GitHub, and that way it'll be easier.
Yeah. So
If
this
anyone else has done that, you guys can share it too.
it works. So there's an introduction, there's an about
Nice.
section, there are the links. This is the LinkedIn. Right, we are connected.
Okay.
This the portfolio. So this is the link to the GitHub. These are the skills. Yeah, that's great. So you can even extend this later. Add more things. Maybe write about your interests or what all things have you worked on in the past, things like that. Or you can also check other people's portfolios, other people's readmes. So to get an inspiration, right? Saurabh has also shared something. Let's see. Yeah, this is
I'm
Saurabh's
gonna
landing page.
share this.
Yeah, this is great.
Nice.
So this is very detailed and very aesthetic. Really good.
Nice. And then from the Git stats, you have the one image, right? But when we created it, it created 3 different images, right? So if you want all 3 different images, you click on individual images and get the link. So
Yeah.
that way you can have all 3. Okay,
Right.
good job.
Also,
Okay, so if you guys don't have any questions or guys, I should.
yeah, also everyone just feel free to connect with these people as well. So connect with Saurabh, connect with Subramanya, or so follow them on LinkedIn, connect with them on Twitter, follow them on LinkedIn and GitHub, and connect with them on LinkedIn, right? And yeah,
You guys can build stuff together. Okay, so I think that's about it for README. So if you guys don't have any questions, we'll move on to the portfolio part, which is basically how do you actually create your portfolio and how to include projects and all that stuff. Okay, so I'll be doing that part.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna share my screen. So we'll get started on that. Okay, let me share my screen. So actually we can take over the chat.
Yeah.
Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, so I've sent you guys the link. So here are some, awesome readmes that you can find. So you guys can go check it out. Yeah, bunch of readmes. So yeah, I won't spend time on it, but I've sent you guys the link. So feel free to check it out. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to build our portfolio. Okay. So how do you find, the templates for the portfolios? Okay. So if you go to this link here that I should just going to put in the chat, you'll find a bunch of portfolios that you can use. Okay. So from here, I can say, browse themes. I can say, portfolio. And then you'll see some of them are paid. Some of them you have to pay for it, right? But you can also get the free ones. So if you go to all free, you can find some free ones as well. So this one, documentation, just like updated here, but this is in Gitbook. You can also create it here. You have a freelancer one as well, your resume, documentation, so on and so forth. Okay. The one that I'm going to be using today, and if you guys want to use it, we'll put this in the chat as well, is this one here. Okay. So actually, that's how we've done that. So yeah, we'll use this one here. Okay, so how do we use this? Okay, so you come here, you click on this GitHub link. So every single theme will have a link to GitHub. So you just click on the GitHub link, and this is where it will take you. And all you have to do is fork it. Okay, so you don't modify the one that the owner has built and a bunch of other contributors have contributed to. You don't want to change that. Okay, you want to build it for your own profile. So you just come here, you click on fork, and that's going to fork it. And I'm going to change the name here. Okay, so I'm going to say data to production. And this is very important. You have to put github.io. So you have to include this at the end, because without it, you won't have a link to see your portfolio. Okay, and then you can add some description. My portfolio.
Basically, what is github.io? So GitHub lets you, so basically there are two kinds of repositories, basically three kinds of repositories on GitHub, right? So there are some normal repositories where you can just host your projects, you can upload your projects and work on them. Another kind of repository is what we just saw, that is basically your username itself. So where you can upload your README, right? And it will appear on your homepage. So this is another kind of repository, which is your username.github.io. What this lets you do is it lets you host a website for yourself. So we'll see how to access that website as well. Yeah.
And then all I'm going to do is click on fork. And that's going to take some time. Now we have everything from there. Okay. And this has, a little bit of documentation. It tells you, what everything is and where everything is. Okay. So here it says all the post images. So all the posts are here. All the images are in this folder. There are some about images in this folder. There are some theme stuff in this folder. So what we're going to do is we're going to edit all this stuff. Okay. Now, how do you access this? You can see this live as well, and I'll show you that. But let's get started. On modifying some things in here. Okay. So if you were to, let me just quickly show you how it looks live. So if you were to look at it live, you go to live before you select your portfolio, before you select your theme, sorry, right? So this is how it looks like. Okay. It's a nice looking portfolio, really simple, one page. Okay. And then we're going to change all of this content. Okay. That's what we're going to learn today. So how do we do this? Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is, let's change the theme section. Okay. So where's the theme section? It says here in the config.yaml file. So I'm going to go here. And again, you can clone this repository to your computer and you can make changes and push it and so on. I'm going to directly do it on GitHub itself. Okay. So we go here, we have a bunch of things in here. So we're going to modify stuff here. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this base URL. Okay. Because I want to access my portfolio on this website, this link here. Okay. So I'm going to change this one.
Nidul, can you first show us like how is it? So is it accessible now? dataproduction.github.io.
Let me show you guys that.
Need a repository now.
So let me show you guys that. I believe there is the link. So right now, you see it complains that it cannot find it. Okay, that's because you also have to include that base URL. this one here. Let's see. Oh,
Maybe it's still
no,
deployed.
maybe probably it's deploying. So how do you know if it's deploying or not? You go to this actions. Okay, so you click on that actions. Okay, and then
Okay, the actions.
Optimus-
Okay, there's no actions set up yet. Okay.
nope. Yeah, I think it's going to take
I
some
think
time
if
to
you
set up.
first create a commit first, I think then it will automatically get created. Let's see.
Let me modify something here. Okay, so I'm gonna just modify this thing here, and I'm gonna change this to also because the URL is different, right? So we want to set it to data to production. Okay, now I'm gonna commit changes
URL is wrong.
directly to the
https://
oh my bad
Yeah.
double,
Yeah. So
and then here you see
it does not take 8 to 10 minutes. I think two minutes is enough. We have tried it.
yeah, it doesn't take long. So we'll see that here. Okay, we're gonna try it here. We'll see that here as well, how long it takes.
Yeah. Can you go to actions now?
Let's see.
Yeah.
And you can see here, it's so whenever you see this blob here, it means it's doing something behind the scenes. So it's building right now.
So to those who don't know what this is, so this is sort of CI/CD. So basically, it is taking the code from your repo and then deploying it.
Okay.
So if you're a data scientist or a DevOps engineer or data engineer and stuff, then you will probably know this, what CI/CD and all that stuff means. So it's deploying right now. So if any of these fails, that means we made some error in the code. Then you'll have to go back and then change stuff. Okay, so right now it's deployed, and that's how it looks like. So we have officially deployed it on data to production.github.io. Okay, so that's how you do it. So up until now, everyone's clear. Is anyone trying with us building a portfolio live?
Yeah, I think everyone should try this one at least. If you have not
Yeah.
tried the README also, try to do this one with us. So this will be very useful for you. Anyone wants us to repeat something?
If you guys are trying, have you guys been able to at least change it to your own URL? Or if you're having issues, let us know. Yeah, I think I'll continue changing stuff in here, but yeah, you guys can stop me anytime and let me know. Okay, so few more things we're gonna change here. Like I said, right? What do we have on this website? We have a bunch of things that we're gonna change. Okay, so I'm starting with this team part. Okay, so I'm gonna change some stuff there.
Okay, so Shruti has done it. That's great. So feel free to share the URL with us.
Okay. Actually, I'm gonna go with the flow. So right now we have this top section here, title and all that stuff, like this one here. Okay, so I'm gonna change that here. The awesome title will change to, whoops, I didn't edit. So that I'm gonna change to data to production. Then email, I'm gonna change it to the data science show 22, I believe, gmail.com. Description, I'm going to change some description here. Okay, so I'm going to change a bunch of this stuff here. Okay, this is data to production masterclass or something like that. Okay. Then what do we have? We have team names, titles, and social links. Okay, so I'm going to change a bunch of things in here. So I'm going to put a shit. I'm not putting the last name because I forgot how to spell. Actually, I'll put it here. So okay. There. Okay. Then I'm going to put it here, data scientist. Actually, if you want to share your link, I'll put some links in here. Okay, so here I'm going to put there's a LinkedIn. If you're sharing, I'll put LinkedIn link. Meanwhile, I'll change mine. I'm going to change this to data scientist. Okay, I should link here. So here, I'm just going to paste it here. Okay, and then I'm going to put my link.
So here what we are doing is we are just seeing what all is there in the website and just making some changes to make it our own.
Yeah. And any additional stuff that you don't need, for example, we don't want to add the third member, right? So I'm just going to delete this section here.
So there were three people on the original website. So we just removed the third one.
Yeah, that's all we did, right? So this is the site. Now what you will see is this will get changed. Okay. Then you will see this one here will change. Okay. So I'm just going to commit right away. And it's deploying, as you can see here. So you have to wait until it gets deployed. Okay, so I thought we were doing in Hindi and English, right? So I'm gonna switch to Hindi. So हम लोग हिंदी में करेंगे session पूरा.
So you do it in Hindi, I'll do it in English. Right? So that
It should be me. It should be me who should be doing it in English. Because I talk less Hindi.
One great thing about this is that this is free, right? So anywhere else, if you want, so there are other free hosting services as well. So let's say you want to make it completely customizable, right? So probably what you can do is you can host your website on AWS, let's say, right? So there, I think AWS, if you host it on EC2, so I think it is for 1 year, it is free. And after that, it is paid. But this GitHub Pages is lifetime free, at least for now.
Yeah. Okay, so we have deployed it, and you can see this changed to video production. Then we have here, that's how it should look like. That's me. There you go, change the titles and all that stuff. Okay, so let's move on. Let's make a few more changes. So let's go back to the config. So we'll finish the config first. Then we'll move on to the next stuff. Okay, then you can add some Twitter links here. I'm not going to do that, but you can change links and all that stuff there. You can change some addresses. I'll keep this as it is, and that's about it in the config file. Okay, so now let's move on to some of the other sections. So let's go find where is this welcome to our studio. Let's see where that is. So most of the times you have to hunt it down where a bunch of things are.
So what you can do is you can open the index.html. You'll go back. Index.html. So that is the main file. That is the main home page, right? So what it is doing is it is pulling the layout default, right? And everything else is so there are some posts, and yeah, that's it. So we'll go to the default layout now, because that is the first thing that is being imported here. So in the layout folder, we go to default.html. Now we can see what all things they have imported more. So there's header.html, services.html, so on, right? So we can go to each of these and make our changes. So we can go to header.html.
Let's go to header. So I think the header one is in here. Let's see.
Yeah.
There. Okay, so that's the header. And let's see. So we see that we have services, portfolio, about, team, contact. And this is basically what you see here at the top.
Okay? This is the menu.
And that's about it in this one. We don't have much in here. Let's go to about. Whatever files we see, let's do it that way. Okay. So what do we have in here? We see that we have our humble beginnings. Where do we have our humble beginnings? About here. So the about is basically about this one here. Okay, so I'm going to modify one or two things so that you guys can see. So I'm going to change this to every time I forget that I'm on GitHub. Okay. अच्छा, हिंदी. Okay, तो ये हम लोग change करेंगे data to production. ठीक है, फिर यहाँ पे ये वाला content change करके what should we put? Data to production,
Podcast,
masterclass,
classes,
podcast,
mentorship.
training, etc. Okay, and then we have some timeline, and I'm not going to do all of these ones. I'm just showing you how to do just one of them. I keep switching back to English, but that's okay. Okay, so timeline, let's change that 2019. I'm just going to put some random stuff to 2023. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and commit.
Feel free to
See,
ask
next time
any
I'll
questions in the chat.
Yeah. So while this is, deploying, let's go and look at some other stuff. So let's go to includes. What else do we have? We just did the about. Okay, so we just did the about. Let's look at the other stuff. We have finds.html. This one is mostly looks like just images. Okay, you can even change images, by the way. Contact. This one is mostly the contact. So here you have the contact form, contact us. So it's this one here. Okay, so this is a section for that, for this stuff. Then we have, what else do we have? We have team. Okay, so amazing team, so which is this here. Do we get the recording of these sessions? We'll upload this to our YouTube channel so you can access it anytime. Yeah, so you can change your stuff here. I'm just gonna say our.
Also, so it is 10:30, so let me just share the refund form. If you guys want a refund on this session, you can fill that form.
And portfolio. So I'll show you about the portfolio as well. So I'm just making sure that things are deployed.
So
Okay, you can see we just
QR code in the chat. So everyone just feel free to scan it and it will lead to a form. You guys have to fill that form to get the refund.
continuing on. So you can see this one got changed. Now let's try and change the portfolio. Okay, so portfolio, you see here we have so one way that we're going to do this, as I said, right, we're going to do some data science projects and we're going to change all of these things. Okay, so when we do the data science projects, we'll change the pictures and all that stuff. Right now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to change this thing here and I'm going to change some of this thing here. Okay, just for now. And we will continue building this portfolio as we do the data science projects, and we'll update it together. Okay, so for the portfolio, I'm going to change a bunch of things in here. So I'm going to change this one here. Let's say data science projects. Okay, that's the first thing. That's all I have in here. I'll commit. See, the good thing about this is, if you were to do it on your local computer, you don't have to keep on committing it every single time. You just do everything all in one go and then you can push it. Because right now I'm doing directly on the browser. I have to keep on committing it.
So one more thing you can do is you can commit to a different branch and
Yeah.
later like just merge the branch into the main branch. But you won't be able to see the changes live then. It's better you do it on local.
Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change some of the posts here. Okay. So for that, you go to post. Then you pick any of these ones. So we have 6 different ones. So I'll just do the first one, and that's how it looks like. And you go to this code. Okay, so you click on that code. Then here's where all the details for that first design is basically. Okay, so you can change the title here. So let's say this is our Airbnb analysis, something like that. Then you can do a subtitle, data science project. Okay, then default, you can change some dates. Let me do 2023, reading something like that. You can change the image. So you'll have to upload the images into the folder, and then you can change it. I'll show you that as well. Then the project date, April 2023, let's say. Then the instead of client, we need to change that. Okay, well, I'll come back to that afterwards. Then you can add some description here. This is this project does some analysis on, or let's say this project extracts where the data performs some analysis and feeds to the dashboard for end users. Something like that. Okay, I'm gonna commit. So that's going to change this part here. What else do we have left to do? We have the services which is left to do. So let me show you that as well. So you come back here, and then we have to find where are the services. So here you can see the services are here. And you can change some services from here as well. Okay, so services, our services that we offer. Then here you can say training. Change that. We offer high quality data science training, something like that. All right, the rest of them I'm going to keep it as it is. Then you come with changes. Yeah, let's see how it's going. And that's the last part that we're going to do, because I want to show you each section. We'll change one thing just so that I can show you guys, how you can do it yourself. So once that's deployed, this part is left to do. We'll have to find where that is. Let's see, where is it? Let's see. Images, we will do that next time when we create our own project, data science project. Then we can come back and upload images here in this folder. So we will do that next time. Right now, what I'm trying to find is the top part. What's that? Plugins, post, and here's JS. This is all JS stuff. Is it in tools, or if anyone can find it, you guys can let me know.
What are you trying
So
to
I'm looking for this one here. Do you know what that is? I forgot where that
find? It should be the
was.
header, right? It is not in the header.
Is it the header? Let me see. No, it's not. Oh, it's here.
Yeah.
So data to production. That's about it. So yeah, you can find that in the header. Okay, let's take a look at what we have built. Data production. This is going to change in a minute. Services, you can see training. We provide high quality training. Portfolio, you can see escape. And then you can see this did not get deployed. Oh, I think I accidentally deleted one of them. Let's take the point. Okay. Okay, so we are expecting this to show up here. We'll take a look at that afterwards. Then for the about, we saw how to change this. We saw how to change our team, and then we saw where this is. Okay, and then this will be your portfolio. I think that's about it that we have to share for today. That's been deployed. So where do you put this one? Okay, do you guys have any questions so far?
Yeah. Feel free to answer the poll as well. Also, if there are any questions, either you can unmute yourself, raise your hand, or put it in the chat. Anything.
Oh, I know why this didn't work.
Yeah. So Nikhil is giving some other templates. Yeah. So you can find any template you want. Whatever you find the best. You can also make your own website from scratch if you are good at HTML, CSS, JavaScript.
Okay, someone asked me how does the D2B mentorship program work? So let me just walk you through that. You can share a YouTube link as well. You can find it on the website as well.
We'll upload it in a couple of days and we'll email you the link.
Yeah. Meanwhile, if you want to look at the other videos and stuff that we have done in the past, you can go to the website. You can find some podcasts here, and then you can find the YouTube link here. And you will find a bunch of stuff that we have done. So mostly in the live, because we always do live. So I'm gonna send the link in the chat there. Oh, I should have done it. Okay. So let me quickly walk you through the data to production. Then I think we have another question that I'll take. Where's our website? Oh, it's here. Okay, so for the mentorship program, so the way this thing works is slightly different than boot camps that we usually do, because we have tried to do it very hands-on rather than you sitting in front of a screen and just watching the videos and doing take-home assignments. What we have done is, we make you to build this entire pipeline. So this is the entire pipeline how you would build if you were to work in industry. Okay, and let's say if you're in charge of, if you're a very first data scientist at a startup or something, then knowing this, you can actually build the entire pipeline yourself. You could be leading the team. Okay, so that's what we are doing. That's what we are offering. Okay, so the way that, so single program which lasts for 2 months. I'll walk you through that as well, where you'd start from, you'd learn how to use SQL, how to use Python, how to use GitHub, not solo user, as part of a team. So how do you use GitHub as part of a team? Okay. Then how do you follow best practices in coding? Because that's very important when it comes to coding. You need to build stuff that is long lasting, right? You don't want your code in the garbage next week. You want your code to last a really long time, right? So how do you follow best practices? Some of the software engineering principles that is usually applied in the software developers and software engineers usually apply. Now we bring that over to data science. Okay. Then how do you use cloud services, right? Now you need to know at least one cloud services, right? So how do you use, let's say, AWS, right? Then we have a little bit exposure to Google Cloud as well. Then we have Airflow, Circle CI, Jenkins for automation. So, earlier we saw this thing, deployment here in actions, right? So how can you build one of your own? How do you build actions? How do you do CI/CD, right? So every time you push a code, you automatically deploy. How can you do that as a data scientist, right? So we teach that as well. So we have a number of things in there. And so we have chopped it down into 3 different programs. So one of them is the beginners, where you learn, GitHub and all that stuff. You learn about data engineering, ETL and all that stuff, right? Then you do some data science stuff. Then you have machine learning, and you do the deployment using Circle CI. Again, remember, this is not a boot camp. All of these modules is basically to build this entire pipeline. Okay. Then you have the intermediate one, where you use Airflow, you use MLflow, you use AWS and Jenkins. You're using AWS here as well, but here you do the deployment on AWS in the cloud. Then we have the advanced one, where then you learn about Docker, how do you do unit tests, how do you do GitHub Actions, and so on and so forth. So the time period is slightly different for each of them. The first one is 2 months, the second one is 3 months, then the last one is 3.5, 3.5, right? The only thing you need to know is Python, that's all. And we're not charging, lakh 50,000 or 1 lakh or 2 lakh. We're not charging that much. So you can reach out to us if you need more information on that as well. So yeah, we're doing this at a cheaper rate. And I think we do have some of the students who have completed this. They're in the masterclass. One of them is Sumit. The other one is Pradeep, whose profile that we shared at the start, README profile. So that's about it for this one. So if you have any questions, yeah, you can reach out to us. We'll definitely can talk about it. And the other thing I want to mention is this is customizable. So you don't have to work with one data set. You can pick any industry that you want to get experience in, and we can build this entire pipeline based off that data set. And it's reusable. So once you have built this entire stuff with one data set, you can go and try it on with as many different structured data as you want, basically. Yeah. So that's about it on my end.
Shruti has a question.
Yeah.
How many projects should ideally be put in a data portfolio?
So I would say you don't need like 10, 20 or so on. Even if you have 2 solid ones, but where you can showcase, just like you mentioned, right? In this single project, you're showcasing so many stuff, right? Like CI/CD, GitHub, Jenkins, Airflow, Circle CI, software development cycle, and so on. So if you can showcase all of that in a single project, right? And if you can market it, like showcase it on LinkedIn and so on, right? That's more than enough. Right? And once you have this solid pipeline built with one data set, just reuse that code, reuse that entire pipeline for the other data sets. You don't have to write everything from scratch, right? Because you're wasting your time if you're writing everything from scratch. Just reuse whatever you've done in the first project. So yeah.
I think I would say
2 to 3.
just first find what domain interests you, right? So let's say finance interests you. So try to pick some problem statements from that domain. So that will actually help you find a job faster in that domain, because freshers have a really hard time finding jobs these days in data science. So if you can demonstrate some experience in that domain, even if you haven't done any job yet. So I think that will be very helpful. And try to pick some problem statements from that domain, and maybe you can pick, just start with one, try to do 2 or 3 projects, on 2 or 3 problem statements, and try to do it end to end. I think that will be really
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like try and do it end to end, right? I mean, here we're teaching data engineering, but MLOps as well, right? So try and do, because see, any data science project you build, if the end user is not using that project, then it's a waste, right? I mean, it's just staying in your laptop, right? No one has exposure to it. So whenever you build any data science project, keep in mind the business perspective, the business problem. What is it that you're trying to achieve? And think of it as a product. At the end of the day, you have to sell that product, you have to market that product, and the users need to use your products. If they're not using it, it's useless, right? So as an example, right, one of the project that we were building for students was customer lifetime value, right? So this is a quick demo that me and Ashit just built together, just so that we can show to people. This is the end product, right? Now anyone can use it. Like if I were to give this, let's say a marketing team asked me to do some customer lifetime analysis, right? I can give this to the marketing team, and now the marketing team can use this, right? They can use this to find customers. So how can they use this? So let me give you a demo, right? So for example, we have this 8035 customer, right? We can see which country that customer is from. And this is a customer lifetime value. So we want to know how much this customer would be spending in our store, let's say. Sorry, I'm in the kitchen, that's why you're hearing a lot of background noise. It's basically, our ML model is saying that this customer, would spend $245 in the next 60 days, right? And the mean price that the customer has spent so far for the time that the customer has been with us is this much, right? So how many times is the customer, making transactions with us? So how frequently the customer is buying from our store, let's say, right? You can see that. When is the last time that the customer bought something from us? That was 16 days ago, okay? And this is the actual price, right? Customer lifetime value is slightly different. You're not predicting on future, but you're predicting on, in the past 3 months, okay? So in the past 60 days, our model said the customer should be spending this much. And how much they have spent? They have spent approximately that much, right? A little bit over, $7, $8 more. So this is a good customer. Now the marketing team can track each of these customers, right? You might have some customers who were supposed to spend a lot, but they didn't really spend much. Then they can go and they can hunt down those customers, maybe offer them discounts and stuff, right? So here, for example, customer who spent recently has lesser probability, right? So this customer spent recently $1 and wasn't predicted to be spending that, but didn't spend much, and so on and so forth. Then we have customers who were likely to spend but didn't spend. So this customer here was supposed to spend $29 but didn't spend anything. Now they can go and go to that customer, market, give them some discounts, or ask the reasoning why is it something that they didn't like about the product, and so on and so forth. Right? So these kind of stuff, this is the end product. If you can showcase this, that's a good portfolio, and that's a good data science project.
Also, I'd like to
Hopefully
highlight
that
the importance of deploying your projects. So in my last interview, all the discussions were on my deployed projects, because if a project is not deployed, it doesn't even matter.
yeah. So yeah. So
any questions, anything, any feedback? How did you like this session? What topics do you want us to cover next? Anything, you can use the chat or unmute.
the other thing, one thing I want to show you about Pradeep is, you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
So like Pradeep did the end-to-end project with us, and that's his. This is what he has built together. So he was one of our the very first students. So we had less stuff back then. We have added a lot of things now, but that's the entire project that he has built with us. Right. So now this is a good, project and a good portfolio to use, right? So, okay, I think that's all I have on my end. Do you guys have any questions? It can be anything regarding jobs or whatever. We'll just stick around 3-4 minutes, then we'll wrap up. Okay, good to know, Nikhil. Thank you. So we'll plan a session on that, object-oriented programming. And again, if you guys want to build data science projects together, don't forget to join us next time. We're going to complete that entire portfolio. We'll do some live projects together, and we'll code it together. So don't forget to join us then. Keep an eye on Ashit's.
You'll get an email about the next session. It will probably be the next weekend. So see you then.
And if you guys are following us on LinkedIn, you will see the post, especially by Ashit, because I don't post a lot. Okay, thank you everyone for joining. If you don't have any questions, I think that's about it. Okay, we'll call it today. Take care, everyone. Have a good night.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
We'll connect on Google Meet. I should send you a link.